Hi everyone, welcome back to Codecraft Academy channel. In today's video, we are diving into React Router's use action data hook. Use action data hook. It's a super useful tool introduced in 6.4 version that simplifies handling form submissions. This hook lets us access the result of form submissions, making it easy to show validation errors or success messages. Let's break down how it works and see it in action. First, let's talk about what useActionData does. React Router provides an easy way to submit forms using the form component. When a form is submitted, React Router sends the data to a special function called action. The useActionData hook then lets us access the response from this action, whether it's an error message, validation result, or a success notification. This approach keeps everything organized and allows us to handle form logic and UI feedback easily within our components. To show you how useActionData works, let's set up a simple project where we create a contact form. We will define a route that processes the form submission, then display feedback based on whether the form submission was successful or not. Let's start with the setup. So I have already done the setup for the project. So this is how it looks, a React project. So if you are new to React project setup, I will add a React setup video in the code section. Please watch it. So the next thing is we should install the dependencies. So for this, to make use of useActionData, we need React Router DOM package, so which we have to install that. So let me show you how to do that. Go to terminal, check where is the terminal. Yeah, here, go here, click. So the command to install new package, that is React Router DOM, is npm install React Router DOM and then press enter. So we need this package in order to use useActionData hook. Okay, once we are done with installing the package, next thing is we should go and add the routes in the app.js component. Okay, for that, in app.jsx we define, this is the app.jsx component. Here we gonna define a route for our contact form and a link to an action function. So the action will handle processing the form, okay, processing the form data on the server side or backend logic. This is the key to how React Router helps us manage form submissions. So for that, let me add the routes first in the app.jsx component. Okay, for that, what we have to do is we should import few modules, I can say. Okay, let me go to top and then import create browser router, that is one thing, and then router provider, and then route. Okay, so once we are done with importing these modules, now let me add routes in the app.jsx component. Okay, for that, what I'm going to do is, before that, let me create routes. Let me create routes first. const router equal to create browser router, for which we should pass an array of routes. Inside, the first route is contact. Okay, when the user navigates to the /contact, the component we want to display is, let me define the component as well here, that is contact form. I'll create these forms later, the components. For now I'm entering the values here, and then the next thing is the action component, the action function, which we have to call when we submit the form. Okay, for that, action equal to contact action. Okay, now let me go and add this contact form. Okay, for which I'm going to create one folder, use action data. Inside this I'm going to create a file, that is contact form. Okay, that is contact form.jsx. So in this contact form, we simply going to add two fields. In this contact form, we are simply going to add two fields. One is to enter name and the other one is to enter message. Okay, let me add that form here. So here what I'm going to do is, let me add, the first one is header. That is contact us, and the second one is form, that is form from the React Auto. Use this and add a method that is post, since we are going to post the contact form data. Okay, the next thing is, inside form we're going to have a label and then input box. First is to enter the name, so for which I'm going to use label. First label is just simply name. Okay, I'm not going to have this anything. I'm going to create a simple basic form. So inside this, name and then input. Inside input, its type is text and the name is name. Okay, let me make it self-closing tag. So similar way, I'm going to add one more input box and then label, that is for message. Okay, that is for message. So now we are done with adding the values or fields for the name and then message. Now the thing is, we should add a button to perform action. For that, I am going to add a button. So button type is submit. And button name is send. Okay, now the thing is, we are done with adding basic form setup. So as I said earlier, right, we should have a special function called action to perform the required validations and then send back the data. For that, I'm going to add a action function. Okay, export const export async function. It's an async function action. Okay, so inside request is a property, const we can get the form data using request dot form data, okay. Once we get the form data, we can extract name and message. Name equal to form data dot get name. So similar way, let me get message. Okay, now we got both name and message. Let me add a logic to validate whether name or message not empty. Okay, if both are empty, if not both, if any one of them, either name or message is empty, I'm going to throw or return an error. So my thing is, if both name and message are provided and then clicked on submit, then only the form should be submitted. Otherwise I should throw an error if any one of the fields is empty. Okay, for that I'm going to return error both fields are required. If any one of them is empty, I'm going to throw an error. Else if both are filled, what I'm going to do is, if both are filled, I'm simply going to return an success message. Okay, your message has been sent successfully. Okay, I'm going to return this. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm done with defining action function as well. So this action function, when exactly this action function will be called is, when we click on send button. Since we made this method as post, the form is to perform the action, post action. So then whenever we click send, the React router will call the action function. So this action function will be executed, and then the respective data will be returned. To catch that data, to hold the data, as I said, right, we can use useActionData hook. Okay, for that what I can do is, I can simply define our access that and store the information in action data. Use action data hook. So now using this hook, I can get hold of the data returned by the action function. So now using this action data, or the data returned by action function, I'll write some validations and then display messages based on the data returned by the action function. So for that, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to call that if data available, that is if it's error, if the message returned by the action function is error, then I'm going to display simply action data dot error. Okay, for which let me add some style. I simply do is color red. In the similar way, what I'm going to do is as simply why it's showing error here. Okay, style done. This is the okay. Now understood. Yep. So in the similar way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. If it's success, let me see. Yeah, if it's success, I'm going to return the success message. I'm going to display success message. Okay, now here let me add green color. So we are done with almost the basic setup to test the use action data hook. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I simply go and add. Okay, we already added that path here in app.js. If you see here, we already added, right? Now we should add one more thing in the app.jsx component in order to work, or in order to make this to work. Okay, for that what I'm going to add is simply I'm going to use a router provider, for which I will be passing the property that is which we created, this thing. I'm going to pass this as a property, router equal to router. So with this we are done with the setup. Now let me go to that. Let me refresh this. Okay, what happened? Why it's not showing the okay, contact form is not defined. Okay, let me import this into here, contact form. Since we haven't imported, that is the reason it's showing error. Okay, now let me refresh. Contact action is not defined. Why? Okay, we haven't imported that as well. We should import that as well. Okay, now we imported contact form. Now the thing is, let me import that action as contact action, because I named it as a contact action here, so that's the reason I'm importing it as a contact action. Now let me save. Oh, it is contacts different. Okay, action as contact action. Okay, now good. So let me refresh. Yep, we got the form here. If you see here, when I go to / contact path, I'm getting the form. Now let's see, if I click on send without entering name and message, let's see whether we get error or not. See, we got the error. It's saying that. Okay, let me add some margin here so that it looks good. Let me go to top div. Let me add style. Let margin left, five ref. Yep, we got left margin now. Now let me do one more thing. Let me enter 1 and then see what it gets. See, even we enter 1, we are getting this. Let me enter 2. There is both name and message, and then click. See, when we enter both name and message, we got the success message. Now the thing is, we are successfully able to validate our form using useActionData. So this is very useful if you want to perform any validations based on your inputs or based on your values. You can simply make use of useActionData, which will get the data from the action function. So inside action we can perform all validations and then return data to useActionData hook. So this using useActionData hook, we can get the data and then we can perform validations and then return errors or success messages or UI feedback. Okay, so this is how it works. Let's say if you want to, here what we're doing here, what we're doing here, we are simply displaying a success message if it's success or else, and then we are actually manually going to the this path slash contact. Instead of that, let's say as soon as you log into the as soon as you go to the application, that is a home page. So here we are not seeing anything, right? So for that, what I can do is, if we go to the home page, we are getting error saying that we haven't added any path inside it. Now for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply create one more component, that is home.jsx home.jsx, and then I simply add just home page. Let me save and then add path here. So whenever user navigates to root path, what I'm going to do is I'm going to display home page component. Okay, home page component element home. See now why it's not, where is the home page data? Home.tv6. Yeah, now we are seeing here home page. Okay, now in the similar way, let me add one more component, that is dashboard. Dashboard.jsx. So we have see dashboard page. So when I go to home, from here I would like to go to contact form. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to add one more link to go to contact form. Okay, go to contact form. So for this, I'm going to make it link to contact. Okay, link to contact. Now let me save. See here, now we got. Okay, let me do one thing. Add some style so that it comes into middle. Okay, sorry, style chin left 5 or okay. See, now we got. So if we click on here, I'm going to contact form, and if I try to submit, I'm getting error. If I enter test name, test message, so when I click here, I'm getting success. But instead of getting success message, what I want to do is I want to redirect this page to dashboard page. Okay, from this page to dashboard page. For that, what I'm going to do is I simply go to app.jsx, and then here what I'm going to do is I simply add one more row, that is path dashboard, and then element equal to element is dashboard, and then come to this contact form. Here, instead of throwing success or returning success message, what I can do is I can simply use redirect from the React Auto DOM, redirect to dashboard. Okay, now let me save and then try. If I go back and then see test name, test message, see here, when we click on send, user or the page navigated to the dashboard page. In the similar way, let me show you it again one more time. So as soon as we go to root the home page, we get this information. So click on this go to contact form, and then if you don't enter anything, we get both fields are required error message. If we enter, we simply navigate to the dashboard page. Okay, that means when we successfully do the validations, then we go to the dashboard page. So this is the basic functionality of useActionData. So useActionData will give you to handle form submissions, easy way, and it's clean and efficient way to manage form logic and display feedback to your users. Okay, if you want to do any extra logics, or if you want to do any extra validations, you can simply add in the action function. Whatever you want to do when we submit the form, everything you can put it into action function. So based on that, the action function return the data on which we can get hold using useActionData hook, and then perform actions according to requirements. So this is about this video where we discussed about the useActionData hook from React Auto DOM. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Happy coding.